Well, welcome. My name is Paul Gronke. I am a professor of political science at Reed College and the director of the Early Voting Information Center, a nonpartisan research center, works with students, policymakers, and state officials, nonprofits to try to help understand the best ways to implement elections both now and in the future. I am here to announce the start of a new video series that I'm working on with my colleague and good friend Michael Alvarez called Resilient Elections. We're going to be reaching out to academics, election administrators, and other innovators in the field to try to help us all understand how to best proceed in this very uncertain environment as we move toward the November election. So Mike, at the time we're doing this recording, New York State has announced the cancellation of the Democratic primary. 15 states have moved their primaries, so there's a lot of uncertainty in this world. How are things going down there in California?
The same is true down here. There's just a lot of uncertainty about what will happen in terms of how the state of California is going to administer its elections this fall. I anticipate that in coming weeks we'll learn more about that from Governor Newsom and Secretary of State Padilla. But in the context of this uncertainty, I'm really excited to be working with you on this project. I think that the two of us we've worked together for a very long time. I think that, we've done a lot of interesting work, not only, as academics, but also, with election officials. And I'm really excited to kind of be using what we've learned as well as those relationships to try to, get more out there about, again, from the perspective of the state of Oregon. How does the state of Oregon administer a statewide vote by mail election? I think a lot of states are going to want to know those lessons and understand some of the practical issues that are going to be involved as they start to consider whether they're going to move their elections to all voting by mail in November 2020.
Absolutely. We already have a number of states that made these announcements. They're sending MCD ballot applications to everyone. And I think both of us are probably fielding inquiries about how that's going to work. What's the technology? What are the administrative challenges? Let's talk a little bit, Mike, about our focus here and how we might have a space here. There's a lot of information coming out at people, but one of our spaces that you've already referred to is out west, look west. A lot of Western states are innovating. They're changing rapidly. We have changing populations, changing demographics. So it's not just California, which is the Voter Choice Act you may want to talk a little bit about, but Oregon and Washington, Colorado, Utah, and Hawaii are full vote by mail. But we also have states here that have these mixed systems. In Arizona, they have a lot of early in-person voting. New Mexico, we're going to be speaking soon with Lana Atkinson in New Mexico, also a very rapidly changing population, have to deal with Native Americans, newly enfranchised citizens. So our focus here is in part on West, but I think, Mike, we also have talked about featuring some of the new innovative work of academics. Maybe you'd like to speak a little bit to that.
Well, and a lot of that academic work that we're going to be talking about over the next few months is, again, probably mainly from people out here in the West, because there are a lot of our colleagues, not just ourselves, but Lana's a good example, but there are many others who are very active in the field of, I guess, what we call election science, and who are also very, very active in building strong working relationships with county and state and federal election officials to really build partnerships to help better understand the processes, the procedures, the administration in their state, but also to take those learnings and those data and package those up for academic use. And so, I think we're both really excited to talk to a lot of our colleagues, some people who we work with, but also many others who, are really doing innovative work in this field of election science and try to, give them an opportunity to talk about their work, but also talk about how they build relationships with election officials and how they take the research findings and put them back and kind of build a feedback loop with administrators, but also, start to push them off into the world of academic publications and peer review.
Absolutely. And so I think some of these examples, Mike, are going to be successful academic administrative partnerships. We're seeking out examples of those. We're seeking out examples of academics who've taken some of this work on the policy area and managed to get it to publication. That may be something that may be of less interest to administrators, but of course a lot more interesting to rising graduate students, younger academics who want to help improve and assure a resilient election system, not just in 2020, but down the road, but also have to worry about, producing academic work, getting published. And you're a great example of that. Some of the others we're looking to are going to be examples of that. So Mike, I'm really excited to be working with you. I hope you're staying safe down there in California. We're trying to stay safe here in Oregon, but we also, our world is not stopping. They're slowly moving toward reopening the economy, but look, the election is going on right now. It's underway. Administrators are having to make decisions now. We want to try to find ways that we can work with them, find other scholars who can work with them and help assure a resilient election in 2020. So Mike, happy to move forward. Hopefully there'll be exciting things coming down the road.
I'm excited about it and looking forward to working with you, Paul, on this project. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks.